Now it's time for Ask Dr. Love with Dr. Jamie Turndorf, the #1 relationship advice radio show in the U.S.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ask Dr. Love. It's my pleasure to be with you again today. So I have a question for you. Is vaginal dryness and painful intercourse putting a hurt on your relationship? Did you know there are 40 million women in the United States alone who suffer with vaginal dryness, and not all of these women are in menopause? Now, menopause is the most common and well-known cause of vaginal dryness, but there are other factors that can affect women of all ages. We're going to be talking about that today. The effects of vaginal dryness are devastating, making it impossible to exercise, wear pants, or enjoy sex with a spouse or partner. So today you're going to discover a breakthrough estrogen-free remedy that is clinically supported. It's a nutritional supplement that's helping women worldwide get back their lives. And this remedy is new to the US market, but it's been used in Europe for many years. So we're going to open the mic today to discuss this seemingly taboo topic of vaginal dryness with Wendi Coombs, the Director of Operations and Customer Support at Membrasin Life Sciences. Wendi has a background in account management and customer service spanning more than 30 years, and she has been part of the Membrasin Life Sciences team for the past 4 years. And her firsthand experience with vaginal dryness and the benefits of SBA 24, which is a trademarked remedy, fuel her passion for educating women of all ages that they don't have to simply endure the pain and limitations that feminine dryness can impose. The website is membrasinlife.com. And by the way, Membrasin Life is my sponsor for Ask Dr. Love. So welcome, Wendi.
Thank you very much, Dr. Turndorf. It is just thrilling to be able to be on with you today to discuss an issue that is so real and so not talked about. So thank you for having me.
I am so happy to have you. I am happy because, you know, we are here in the US in a very puritanical society. And people's initial reaction, oh, what, your sponsor is Membrasin Life, a vaginal lubricant? I'm like, this is not a lubricant. This is you can buy a lubricant in the pharmacy, you know, or the supermarket. This is a remedy for a plaguing topic, a very common topic that women are struggling with all over the world, the vaginal dryness. Now, we were talking in the green room before we went live about, you know, I said to you, are you in menopause? And you said, no, I don't have any menopausal symptoms. I don't have hot flashes. I don't have insomnia. Then you said, sometimes I could be moody, but that's just.
That goes with every day, right?
Right.
I
I said in one of my books, my husband would always know when I was going to have my period, and he would just come home with a new box of organic tampons, and people would think, oh, that's because you were just bitchy or something. But no, it was just, he had the clock in his mind. I was never bitchy. Right?
Never. I can't imagine.
Right. So the issue of vaginal dryness, apart from menopause and perimenopause, medications can cause dryness. Right?
Absolutely.
And, you know, there's one thing that people don't think about. Even traditional MDs never think about the worldwide problem of acidosis. That is, the foods we eat are very acidifying, high protein diets, sugar, grains. These things acidify the body. And when we become acidic, we become dehydrated and all the mucous membranes dry up. Your mouth gets dry and your vagina gets dry.
Absolutely. And, you know, that's, like you said, it's more than just menopause. Medications that we take, stress and lifestyle. Those lifestyle factors are things that we don't really even connect to, you know, something as important as vaginal health. And like you said, the foods we eat, the amount of sleep that we get, there are a lot of stressors, and every woman is going to experience dryness or even, the symptoms of menopause very differently.
That's right. And you can't come out of this unscathed. And what I'm seeing also is that women are developing symptoms of vaginal dryness at younger and younger ages.
Absolutely, they are. It's not just, that 50, 55 plus category anymore. Perimenopause can start in your early 40s.
Or even some women in their 30s.
Exactly.
Right?
And it can last for years. There's no real pinpoint of how long perimenopause can last. Menopause in and of itself is 1 year. But then we hit postmenopause. So a lot of times menopause would include perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause. And it all just unfortunately has a very negative connotation in our society. And hopefully our mission at Membrasin Life Sciences is not only to help women feel better, but to start a conversation about an issue that we will all experience to one extent or another in our lives as women.
That's right. And the thing people also don't talk about, and I was thinking this morning when I woke up, this prevalence of older men divorcing their wives to go for younger women. And I bet you, even though nobody studied it, it's connected to the fact that when older women start having hormonal drops and their vaginas get drier and intercourse gets more painful, a man doesn't have this. And especially now with Viagra and Cialis, he can be ready to go till he's, a stiff. No pun intended.
No pun intended.
Right. And so I'm thinking that a lot of relationships, I've heard men say to me, I love my wife, but this is unfair to me, and my wife has said, go out and have sexual partners, but don't divorce me. But how awful for the relationship for a man to have to go that route and then enter Membrasin Life. You're offering a solution here for the millions of women who cannot take estrogen because they've either had a cancer history and they're afraid of the possible proliferation of cancer cells. So Membrasin Life really, I think, was invented in France, wasn't it?
Actually, Finland. Yes. So, and that's where our products continue to be manufactured today. SBA 24 was developed in 1997 in Finland by Aromtech. And then a clinical study was done at the University of Turku in 2014, really looking at the effects of SBA 24, this blend of sea buckthorn oils, on postmenopausal women and the benefit to mucous membrane. And, you talk about relationships, and it's gratifying. I mean, first and foremost, our goal is to give women back their lives in general, just helping them to feel better, to not experience that pain and discomfort and the itching. And, it can really cause not only physical symptoms, but mental symptoms. And so many times in relationships, we feel that if we're not performing physically, there's a lot of mental downside to that. And, I personally have talked to so many women and men, don't get me wrong. Men are concerned, not that they aren't getting it in the bedroom, but they feel bad that it is causing pain for their wives.
Absolutely.
And the wives will continue to be in pain. And these men who love their wives, they're at their wits' end. And so we do, believe it or not, we get calls from men on a very regular basis.
Wendi, would you believe I wanted to surprise you. This is the first time, Wendi, that we are live streaming the Ask Dr. Love show with a live studio audience so that I could take live calls. We spent a week, my engineer and I, figuring out how to do this. And we have men in the studio, men. So I think when we take a break in 1 minute, I want to say to all the men who are in the studio live, if you have a question for me and Wendi, raise your hand and I will know that you're not afraid to come out here and talk about your situation or ask any questions. And if you don't, it's okay. But that possibility is out there for you. Okay. Because Wendi and I know what a devastating problem this is, not only for women, but also for the men who love them. So let's take a brief break. We'll be back in a moment on Ask Dr. Love. Hi, it's Dr. Jamie Turndorf here. Are you feeling stressed out or suffering panic attacks, aches and pains or stiff muscles, low energy, angry outbursts or disturbed sleep? Or are you worried or depressed or feeling hopeless, like the world is coming to an end? Or are you not eating right or exercising or falling into self-damaging or addictive behaviors like binging on junk food, TV, or the internet? Or abusing drugs or alcohol, figuring what's the point? Or maybe work is getting on your last nerve, or your relationships are falling apart. If you said yes to any of my questions, you are likely suffering what I call the new global PTSD pandemic stress syndrome triggered by the coronavirus pandemic. Don't despair. My energetic system upgrade is your rescue remedy for the panic epidemic that is plaguing our world. The energetic system upgrade has already changed the lives of some of today's top leaders. Now you can experience your own energetic system upgrade healing transformation. I'm offering a limited number of discounted sessions for my radio listeners. Visit AskDrLove.com/energetic system upgrade. Don't wait. Visit AskDrLove.com/energetic system upgrade. Attention, ladies. Dryness is canceled. Are you tired of dealing with painful sex due to vaginal dryness? Are you ready to get back on your bike or hit the tennis court with your girlfriends without having to worry about the discomfort caused by dryness? Whether it's menopause related, medication related, or something you've just dealt with for so long that you've accepted it as a fact of life, Membrasin Life Sciences may be your long-awaited answer. A nutritional supplement taken daily that is completely estrogen-free and clinically studied, Membrasin Vitality Pearls have helped over 500,000 women worldwide take their lives back. Just check out the 3,000 plus customer reviews on Amazon. Visit membrasinlife.com to learn more and use code LOVE for 15% off your first month. Give it 90 days and say goodbye to vaginal dryness. Welcome back to Ask Dr. Love. I'm Dr. Jamie Turndorf, and I'm talking with Wendi Coombs, the Director of Operations and Customer Support at Membrasin Life Sciences. Wendi, I want to talk about something that is, since we're opening the door on this very taboo topic, in addition to dryness, vaginal atrophy is a real problem.
Absolutely, it is.
And can you talk about this a little bit?
So as we get older, in particular, the mucous membranes that make up that vaginal lining don't secrete the natural moisture that they used to. And kind of maybe a silly analogy that we use with our customers sometimes is if you have a leather glove, and when you buy that glove, it is just supple and soft and smooth, and over time and with abuse, if you don't take care of it, that glove can become very stiff and the leather can crack. And it's very similar with that vaginal lining. Over time and traditionally due to menopause, women's estrogen levels fluctuate and it can cause a thinning of that vaginal lining, and it becomes very dry, almost brittle. And the idea of sex, intercourse of any type, becomes absolutely an impossibility. And so really, other than traditional hormone replacement therapies, estrogen creams, that type of thing, there really hasn't been a viable solution.
I want to mention one other thing that people use. Okay, because we're getting down. All right. So there is a rejuvenation, a vaginal laser rejuvenation, Mona Lisa Touch, and another one where they basically, I call it the pussy facelift. There's just no other.
Oh, stop.
But the thing is, this treatment, this laser, is predicated on the idea that when you burn tissue with laser, it will come back with more collagen production. So supposedly this will reverse vaginal atrophy. But I think there's something flawed in this theory because older women don't make enough collagen. So you're burning the vagina with the pussy facelift, the vaginal laser rejuvenation, and you'll never think of this.
That will never get out of my mind. It will be what
but we don't repair properly because we don't have enough collagen to build back the softer tissue. So I just wanted to throw that in there because I know a lot of people may be hearing about that as a remedy. But
yeah, exactly. And we have customers call or comment on our Facebook page about the Mona Lisa Touch and these other laser type treatments. Some of the most common, and honestly, Dr. Love, it works for some women and it can be very effective. It's very expensive. And it requires, as I understand it, touch-up treatments down the road. And so it just varies on the individual. And the thing that we hear for those that haven't had success with those laser treatments is that taking a supplement daily, that's number one, good for you. The benefits to mucous membrane are unbelievable when it comes to this supplement, and just helping to naturally rejuvenate, to support that vaginal lining and help it to maintain natural lubrication. One of the things that they found in the clinical study was that the integrity of that vaginal lining was increased up to 50%. And I have personally talked to women who had, a laser type treatment scheduled with their gynecologist and decided to try Membrasin, moving up to it. And so took the Vitality Pearls every day for the 3 months prior to her, pre-op appointment, and went in, and her physician said, "What have you been doing? What we don't need to do this. You're fine." This was a young woman too. She had 5 children in 4 children in 5 years. I had to get the math right. And so her lady parts had been well used, and a little bit abused.
So they were like the glove.
Yeah, exactly. And she just was in such misery. And so that is just one case I will always remember, talking to this woman on the phone. And like I said, she was in her mid to late 20s. She wasn't even in her 30s. And she was so dry that, this was the answer for her was, that laser type treatment. And she didn't have to have it. And so it was just one of those situations. We all have a different body chemistry. We're all going to metabolize differently, and we're all going to have a different set of symptoms associated with dryness or menopause or birth control. Hormone fluctuations can really do a number on us. And
also, Wendi, one of the things I loved seeing is that women who are using this special patented form of sea buckthorn that's in Membrasin also describe being able to have orgasms again, because when you're in pain, your body doesn't have pleasure. But fixing the atrophy and the dryness, the pleasure comes back.
Right. And, there's something to be said. This product won't directly affect your libido. We're not saying that at all, but mentally, as a woman, and as that woman's partner, if you know and have confidence that penetration and this is not going to cause you pain, you can relax.
Absolutely.
And a natural, repercussion of that is increased libido and better orgasm.
Right.
And so it is, it's vaginal health, but it's also mental health and relationship health. And there's so much involved. I will tell you, we have women that call, and the first thing they say is, I am not in a relationship. I'm 75, whatever. I don't plan on having intercourse, but this is painful and I don't want to do it.
Because you can't sit on a bicycle without having to
You
bite
can't
a
do
bullet.
anything. But then on the other side of the coin, I had a 76-year-old woman reach out to us just this week. She has been sexually inactive since her husband passed, and all of a sudden she's in a relationship. And her question is, can this help me? I have not had sex with a man for X amount of years, and I know I'm dry. Will this help me? And it was, I can't wait to see 3 months down the road. And that's the thing. One thing I love is our customers always come back and tell us and thank us and share their reviews. But, I told her, I said, it might take, a couple of months, but there's every possibility that this will increase your ability to secrete, lubrication and not have to rely on the over-the-counter, KY.
They don't work anyway. They really don't
work.
Well,
they just dry up. They
dry up. And so then you have to keep squirting more on,
right.
during the act. Let's take a break. We'll be back in a moment.
Hi, it's Dr. Jamie Turndorf. Did you know only one stress, one accident, or one illness can trigger PTSD? And did you know that all the stress associated with the pandemic has created what I call the new global PTSD pandemic stress syndrome? And don't be so quick to say, I don't have PTSD, because many conditions like depression, anxiety, pain syndrome, sleep disorders, and sexual dysfunctions are PTSD in disguise. And don't be fooled. Even after the pandemic is behind us, your PTSD will not go away by itself. Hope is in sight. In my latest book, If You Think You Don't Have PTSD, Think Again, I share a simple, research-backed, drug-free program for reversing the new global PTSD pandemic stress syndrome, a solution your doctor doesn't likely know about. Read If You Think You Don't Have PTSD, Think Again today and be on the road to recovery right away.
If You Think You Don't Have PTSD, Think Again became a #1 international bestseller within 24 hours of its publication. Grab your copy on Amazon and find out why.
Attention, ladies and gentlemen, dryness is canceled. Have the events in your bedroom become less than eventful? Is libido a thing of your past? Enter Membrasin Vitality Pearls, the #1 selling vaginal moisture supplement. Let's hear what some real customers are saying. Finally, so happy to feel relief from the dryness I was experiencing. 58 years young and so happy to be intimate with my husband again, says Gail. And from Mr. S. I imagine you don't get many reviews from men, but after searching for something, anything that would help with my wife's dryness, we found Membrasin. It's been about 4 months now, and what a difference it has made, not only for her comfort, but also for her libido. We've been enjoying each other almost daily. Don't let dryness and painful sex limit your relationship. Give Membrasin Vitality Pearls a try for 90 days. Visit membrasinlife.com for more information and use code LOVE for 15% off your first month.
Welcome back to Ask Dr. Love. I'm talking with Wendi Coombs, the Director of Operations and Customer Support at Membrasin Life Sciences. Wendi, before we took the break, we were talking about the fact that when you know you're not going to be hurting, you can relax. And that, you actually go into what's called parasympathetic mode. And you have to be in parasympathetic mode in order to have sexual arousal and orgasm. And one little thing that a lot of people don't realize is that men can develop impotence in response to their wife or sexual partner having sexual pain, because they're so afraid to hurt her that they just don't get an erection. And that's
Absolutely.
real. That
Yeah.
is real.
Well, it takes two to tango. So, and I believe that love is an important part of a relationship. This is Ask Dr. Love, right? And so when you love someone, intimacy is an incredibly important part of nurturing that love. And regardless of our age, and in fact, I always tell our customers, bless you for being postmenopausal. You can now have all the fun in the world, and you don't need to worry about things like getting pregnant and all of this. So it really is the best part of our lives. And so I was just looking over some of our customer reviews, and there's one that I love. I just want to share real quick. This is from Sandra. She says, I'm 65, and I tell you, my husband and I have been having and I have been in our bedroom more now than ever before, doing what adults do. I am so pleased with Membrasin. My husband thanks you, and so do I. I have recommended this to all of my friends. That is what it should be in our lives. And, I think we take sex for granted when we're younger. For most women and men and couples and whatever it's a given. And, they find that if they can make time for it in all the busyness of life, if they have children and they have careers and all of that, I know a lot of younger couples that actually schedule it, in the calendar. But as we get older, we aren't cumbered or, and burdened, I guess, by a lot of, we're not raising our children. We're not trying to build a career. We need to be able to enjoy those intimate moments with our partner, and vaginal dryness can absolutely put a stop to that. And to see couples, I have had women cry to me on the phone, thanking me for literally saving her marriage.
It's true.
And that is humbling. That is, oh my word. This product has changed over 500,000 lives. And whether it's, the 28-year-old that's on birth control and that's messing with her hormones, and she's thinking she has no libido because she cannot get wet, so to speak. Sorry to be so forward with it.
But that's what it is.
It is. And we don't realize at that age that, we're going on birth control so we can have sex. And then all of a sudden it hurts and we think, what's wrong? And then you have your woman that maybe is breastfeeding, same thing. How do I get past this? And here's my husband. I've been pregnant for 9 months. And then all of a sudden now I have this baby that I'm breastfeeding, and I still have no interest in my husband because it hurts.
And you're talking about inflammation, and there's an epidemic of inflammation. And, all the studies show that people are low in the essential fatty acids, what people also call the omegas. And sea buckthorn is omega-7. But in your formulation, you also have the other omegas, the 3, the 6, the 9. People don't get enough of the good omegas. They just don't. And without them, your inflammation is running rampant. And that is why I think your product and sea buckthorn, the omega-7, is so beneficial to many other functions in the body too. There's a lot of research that it protects the heart, may protect against diabetes, protects the skin everywhere, may boost the immune system, healthy liver, fight cancer, improve digestion, treat dry eyes, because dry eyes are low essential fatty acids. And this is the Western diet is way too low in essential fatty acids. And, your vagina is telling you a story. It's saying, help me, it's like, help, I'm too inflamed. I don't have enough of these essential fatty acids. Now, I want to also say again to everybody who's live in the studio, I know that this is a kind of touchy topic and that maybe you're just happy to watch and listen, but I am here, and Wendi is also here for you if you want to raise your hand, if you want to ask anything. I think sometimes people are afraid also because we're on video. They're afraid that they might be on video, but I want to reassure you, your cameras are off. Your thumbnails are off. Nobody will see you at all. It'll only be a voice, an anonymous voice, and your name isn't here either. So, Wendi, what else do you want people to know?
Well, you said how it would just be their voice. As many incredible experiences that we hear over the phone, I'm always surprised at how unwilling women are to talk about vaginal dryness. It's not something your mom tells you is going to happen. You get married, you have the talk, whatever it is. We don't talk about this with our daughters, with our girlfriends.
Why? Why do you think this is? Why?
I think it's a shaming issue.
Isn't it? It's awful.
It is awful. And it is the most natural thing. We are all going to experience it at one level or another. And it doesn't have to be this lonely, miserable experience. We talk about on social media, especially now, every little thing. If you have a question about who to get to clean your carpet or a physician in your area, you move to a new area, we reach out to strangers on social media and ask questions that are, kind of personal, but we won't talk to our friends about this. And if we would do that, we could help each other. Because like I have said, no two women are going to experience menopause in the same way. No two women are going to have the same response within their body to birth control.
Or drugs.
Or drugs or any medication. I mean, and you asked me if I was comfortable being a little bit personal, and I am. So if I can, I just want to share my story a little bit.
All right. Well, because we're going to be going to a break in 1 minute,
okay.
I don't want to cut your story off, but when we come back in the next segment, I do want to hear it. It's funny because I, as you might have noticed, I'm not hung up, so it's like, I'm like, you can say whatever you want.
Quality.
Yeah, really. So, because I'm just so out there, then people can just say anything to me and they just know they're not going to freak me out. Because I haven't been freaked out yet. So I think by this.
People ask me all the time on the phone, doctor, if, I'm sorry, I'm just going to be really graphic. I'm like, really, sweetie, you cannot tell me anything I haven't heard. And if you do, thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you for sharing.
Exactly. So when we come back from this next break, I want to hear your story.
Okay.
Be back with you in a moment on Ask Dr. Love.
You're listening to Ask Dr. Love with Dr. Jamie Turndorf. If you yearn to get along better with your life partner or spouse, friends, family members, and even coworkers, Dr. Turndorf's best-selling Hay House book, Kiss Your Fights Goodbye, Dr. Love's 10 Simple Steps to Cooling Conflict and Rekindling Your Relationship, shows you how to turn conflict into connection for a lifetime of lasting love. To find out more, visit AskDrLove.com.
Attention, ladies. Dryness is canceled. Are you tired of dealing with painful sex due to vaginal dryness? Are you ready to get back on your bike or hit the tennis court with your girlfriends without having to worry about the discomfort caused by dryness? Whether it's menopause related, medication related, or something you've just dealt with for so long that you've accepted it as a fact of life, Membrasin Life Sciences may be your long-awaited answer. A nutritional supplement taken daily that is completely estrogen-free and clinically studied, Membrasin Vitality Pearls have helped over 500,000 women worldwide take their lives back. Just check out the 3,000 plus customer reviews on Amazon. Visit membrasinlife.com to learn more and use code LOVE for 15% off your first month. Give it 90 days and say goodbye to vaginal dryness.
You're listening to Ask Dr. Love with Dr. Jamie Turndorf. If your heart is still hurting over the bodily loss of your loved one, the reason is simple. We're not meant to be separated from those we love, and reconnecting is the only way to end the grief. But reconnecting and staying connected requires guidance. As a gift to her listeners, Dr. Turndorf is offering a limited number of discounted grief relief sessions to help you reestablish your relationship and resolve any unfinished issues. If you're ready to experience the healing and joy of reconnecting, visit AskDrLove.com/grief relief to schedule your session. But don't wait, space is limited. Visit AskDrLove.com/grief relief to find out more. And now, back to Dr. Turndorf.
Welcome back to Ask Dr. Love. I'm talking with my dear Wendi Coombs. She's the Director of Operations and Customer Support at Membrasin Life Sciences. Before we took the break, Wendi, you said you were going to tell us your story, your vaginal dryness to moist juiciness story.
Yeah, my journey, so to speak. And we all have a different one. And whatever, I would just say to anyone listening, whatever your journey is, it's okay. Own it. And continue it. Don't give up. So, at the ripe old age of 26, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder. I had 2 children at the time, and part of the treatment that I underwent was a chemotherapy regimen. And this was pretty devastating to a young mom and wife. And anyway, we got through it. And I was in remission for almost 16 years. But during that time, because of not just the chemotherapy, but the medication that I was on, I kind of thought I was broken, to be honest, Jamie. I enjoyed sex with my husband. We've been married now 33 years. I still do. But that being said, it was really tough for me. And I doubted myself. I had very low self-esteem when it came to sexual relations. It hurt. It wasn't comfortable. I didn't have a lot of libido. It was really hard. And so, that emotional part of that. And I mean, this was back at a time when we didn't talk about mental health. And, that was not even a thing. And so over the years, we got a system down. There was always, lube in the drawer and, trying different kinds and this and that, whatever. And so it was enjoyable, but it was always more work than it needed to be. So in walks SBA24 and the Membrasin Vitality Pearls. And this was 26, it's been 26 years ago. So about 22 years, I guess, I started taking a supplement on a recommendation from a friend. Actually, our founder and owner of Membrasin. And I'd known him for about 16 years. And I couldn't believe the difference. And it wasn't dramatic. I mean, we hear from customers that saw a difference in 5 days. And then there are customers, I would say the average when you're taking the supplement is probably 4 to 6 weeks. It's working through the bloodstream. So it's not immediate. But the benefit,
the tissue has to regenerate. Which
right. We're dealing with tissue here. It does not happen overnight. And so all of a sudden I noticed that we weren't reaching for the lube in the drawer. It was such a change for me. And so, not knowing whether or not I'm in menopause, I'm definitely off the age. But I personally don't have some of those traditional perimenopause symptoms. But I've had the dryness since I was like 26 years old. So
you were you had menopausal symptoms at 26,
at 26.
and now postmenopausal, you don't have menopause symptoms.
No. And, and there are women that are having hysterectomies in their 30s. And like I mentioned before, those women that are on birth control, women that have had breast cancer and have gone through chemotherapy and radiation, that is affecting dryness. And we are not a treatment, for that. It's a natural supplement. But these women that have had cancer, a lot of them are on estrogen blockers and can use nothing with estrogen. And it brings me to tears to talk to these women that have gone through so much, in regards to their health and those treatments, and to be able to feel good again down there, to not be the Sahara Desert, is, it may seem like a little thing, but it is not. It is not.
It is everything.
It is
everything. Sex is the glue that bonds you to someone else.
It really is, that intimacy. And you can be intimate without intercourse, but it really is. And like I said, at this stage in our lives, it should be better than it ever has been. Not
without the fear of
and
pregnancy.
Right. And so just knowing that there is a nutritional supplement that I can take once a day, every day. And, not only is my vaginal lining in much better condition than it has been, but this mucous membrane, as you mentioned, skin, it benefits the hair. It benefits nails, dry eye. We have some customers that take this for dry eye. And, and so there are so many benefits to omega-7 and that combination of those omega fatty acids, all in a balanced ratio. And it's simple. You don't have to think about grabbing the lube. I like to say it aids in spontaneity, because if I don't have to, think about it or prepare, even with that little purple pill, sometimes, you got to think ahead. I like spontaneity. I like those moments of, hubby comes home for lunch and, it just allows you to enjoy every aspect of your life.
But that's so wonderful that you can describe the little afternoon delight, which is
right. That's exactly what
think that's over and done with.
No.
And you're just experiencing a rejuvenation, a renaissance, a renaissance.
There you go.
Beautiful. It's beautiful. I love to hear it. What I was thinking is, we could start to tell people watching, and, the show is going out now live through YouTube Live, and then we're going to put it on all the podcasting apps. Then it'll be on Binge Networks TV. And next week, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, it's going out over all my terrestrial stations, New York, Chicago, Atlanta, Boston, and San Francisco. So I'm putting out this message now for all of you who start using Membrasin Vitality Pearls. Love to hear from you. I set up a link for you at Ask Dr. Love, askdrlove.com/question. Love to hear from you, and also love to have you come back in the studio next month. Wendi will be back once next month. Come back and start telling us about how this product is helping you save your relationship, restore your intimacy. We want to hear all about that great story that you have. Let's take a brief break. We'll be back in a moment.
Attention, ladies and gentlemen, dryness is canceled. Have the events in your bedroom become less than eventful? Is libido a thing of your past? Enter Membrasin Vitality Pearls, the #1 selling vaginal moisture supplement. Let's hear what some real customers are saying. Finally, so happy to feel relief from the dryness I was experiencing. 58 years young and so happy to be intimate with my husband again, says Gail. And from Mr. S. I imagine you don't get many reviews from men, but after searching for something, anything that would help with my wife's dryness, we found Membrasin. It's been about 4 months now, and what a difference it has made, not only for her comfort, but also for her libido. We've been enjoying each other almost daily. Don't let dryness and painful sex limit your relationship. Give Membrasin Vitality Pearls a try for 90 days. Visit membrasinlife.com for more information and use code LOVE for 15% off your first month.
You're listening to Ask Dr. Love with Dr. Jamie Turndorf. If you can't stop crying over the bodily loss of a loved one, Dr. Turndorf's #1 international bestseller, Love Never Dies, How to Reconnect and Make Peace with the Deceased, shows you how to toss out the tissues and transform your grief into joy using her groundbreaking Dialoguing with the Departed technique that enables you to reconnect and even heal unfinished business with those in spirit. To find out more, visit AskDrLove.com. And now, back to Ask Dr. Love with Dr. Jamie Turndorf.
Welcome back to Ask Dr. Love. I'm Dr. Jamie Turndorf, and I'm talking with Wendi Coombs, the Director of Operations and Customer Support at Membrasin Life Sciences. So what else do we want to tell everybody who's watching live and also listening?
I would say you don't have to just accept this. Yeah, you do have to accept that menopause is going to happen. You have no idea what it's going to be like for you versus your sister, your friend, your mom, whatever, but don't let it ruin your life. This, as I have said several times, should be the best time of our lives. And we should be able to have intimacy and enjoy those sexual moments with our partner, regardless of our age. We have customers in their 20s all the way up to their 80s who are taking this supplement every day, and it is making such a difference for them. The products are clinically supported. We do have a cream, which is, it's called Intimate Moisture Cream. It's not a lubricant. This is for external dryness. We have that kind of inside-outside approach. And some women need a cream. Some women don't like to mess with a cream. But the supplement really is the one that's working at that cellular level, really working to help maintain natural lubrication. And it is a game changer if this is right for you. And all of our products have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. And I would just invite you, if you are at all curious about this product, give it a try. Take advantage of the discount code. Get 15% off your first shipment on our website. We have a subscription service as well as just the one-time purchase option. And, read the reviews. It is an amazing product and one that can make such a difference in so many aspects of your life.
It's absolutely true. Now, so I just got a question come through the chat. Are there any meds or supplements you shouldn't be taking if you're taking Membrasin Vitality Pearls?
So there are no negative drug interactions reported with this. It is a natural supplement.
You know why? It's food.
Yeah.
It's food. It's the omegas that we would be getting if we ate fish every day, which people don't, and you don't want to because of the heavy metal poisoning you get with eating fish every day. There's never going to be a contraindication with an essential fatty acid. Right.
One thing to that we consider with certain customers, because fatty acids, these omega fatty acids, can have a natural, somewhat thinning effect on the blood. That's the heart health benefit. If you are taking an anticoagulant medication, we do recommend that you check with your physician first. You don't want to over thin the blood, but typically we've seen that some modifications can be made. Maybe they take one a day, or but that's the most important thing. If you're on a prescribed medication under the care of a physician, always check with that physician before adding any nutritional supplement to
and maybe, just maybe, I've known people who are able to get off the pharmaceutical when they use the omegas and they thin the
Right.
blood, which I'm sure that it actually, there's going to be more studies. It's going to help the stroke risks and so on, blood clotting risks and all of that. So thank you for that great question, Dee. We're just using first names. So anyone else, if you have a question and you don't want to raise your hand, but you want to put it through the chat, go for it. Or you can send me a question, at askdrlove.com/question. So, another thing I was just thinking, Wendi, when they study people on their deathbeds and they ask them, what do you regret most? Do you know what the number one answer is?
What?
I didn't have enough sex.
Oh.
Isn't
Well,
that amazing?
fix that.
Exactly. But that's how epidemic this problem is as people get older and they don't have enough sex, or maybe when they're younger, they're too busy working and putting everything else ahead of sex. And, this is the one thing that, even if you believe in the afterlife, you're not going to be having physical sex in the same way. So the idea is make hay while you're still in a body.
Good advice.
Right.
Good advice for sure.
Right. So in the last 3 minutes of the show, let's make sure everybody knows how to get you, how to find your product, and then the discount code for everybody who's watching and listening.
Yes. So you can find us online at membrasinlife.com. That's MEMBRASIN life, because you're going to live your fullest, .com. And there are, as I mentioned, we have our Vitality Pearls, also our Intimate Moisture Cream. And at checkout on our website, please use discount code LOVE, LOVE, and receive 15% off your first purchase. There are a lot of options. There's a lot of information on the website. You can actually access the clinical study. You can read hundreds and hundreds of customer reviews and really see if this product is right for you. There are really not a lot of natural options, if any. We are the #1 selling vaginal dryness supplement. And, a lot of times people will ask, they'll think it's a suppository, because a vaginal dryness supplement is not that common. So not a suppository, kids. This is a supplement. You take it by mouth. I have one right here with me.
Thank you for making sure people don't insert it in the wrong hole.
Yeah, don't put this in the wrong hole.
In the wrong hole.
Orally. But if you thought that, don't worry, you're not alone, because we get that question all the time. So each box is a 30-day supply, 60 pearls, and you take 2 a day every day. We do recommend taking them with food. It helps to aid in the absorption of the nutrients. And also, if you have any kind of stomach sensitivity to omega fatty acids or natural oils, taking the product with food helps to alleviate that upset or reflux. But, take it with food, be consistent, and don't give up. Give it at least 90 days. If you are not satisfied, if you are not seeing a rejuvenation of those parts down there, let us know. We will provide you with a full refund. There are so many things that we spend our money on that just don't work. We want this to work for you. We want to support you and help you and, give you your life back.
That's exactly what we want. And I want it too, because that's what Dr. Love is all about. Living your life fully and connecting fully with the people you love. And physical connection is a big part of connecting. So
absolutely.
I can't believe our time is over, but you'll be back next month. I know, it just flew. That's what happens when you talk about vaginal dryness.
There you go. Who knew?
Who knew? Everyone, thank you for being with me live in the studio. Maybe since we're getting our feet wet, pardon the pun, people will be more comfortable next time.
I hope so.
Questions. See you next time on Ask Dr. Love.
Thank you, Dr. Turndorf.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Ask Dr. Love with Dr. Jamie Turndorf. Sign up for Dr. Jamie's newsletter at AskDrLove.com and receive her meditation audio that will guide you to open your heart and chill out during these stressful times.